You're listening to Gordon Clark on Hospital Radio Medway.
Well, welcome along to Chatterbox, and today I've got with me in the Chatterbox, I've got Vicki, who has got a grand title, I notice, and let's make sure I get that right. I've got it written down here so I don't forget it. It's the Whole Systems Obesity Officer for the Medway Public Health.
That is correct.
Okay.
It sounds a bit of a scary title, doesn't it? The word obesity in there tends to make people think, oh dear, what, she's going to make me exercise, or she's going to get me doing things I may not want to do. But the title sort of in itself is the whole systems part of the whole systems obesity. What it means is I work to work with as many organisations, businesses, charities, sort of council, NHS, as many organisations as possible to help us work together to improve people's health and well-being in a nutshell.
I remember a campaign. In fact, I was just checking back because in 2016 I did a similar thing. We didn't have podcasting then, but it was an interview which I changed into my show, and that was with Medway Active.
Yes.
Which I think now is called Kent Active Health or something like that now, isn't it?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yep. There is an Active Medway and there's a Better Medway, which a Better Medway now does cover lots of sort of health and wellbeing topics that the Medway Public Health team offer.
Yeah. So I came across this. I was looking in the Medway Matters. So, yes, people do read them.
Good to hear.
You often wonder when things, I wonder how many people read them. And I spotted this Medway can. And I thought, what's that all about then? So I thought, I know, I shall contact them and do a podcast so we all know what it's about. So I guess it's about getting people active.
Yeah. So obviously, the pandemic has changed many people's lives, and I think what's quite apparent by sort of the figures that we've seen come out for obesity levels, that there has been quite a significant rise in those adults and children in Medway that are either overweight or obese. So this campaign is a way to help sort of address that and support our Medway residents. I say Medway residents. The campaign is aimed at anybody who lives, works or studies in Medway. So you don't necessarily have to live in Medway to take part in this. And it's aimed to bring an awareness and to start off, we're kicking off with sort of getting people moving and lots of ways that can happen.
Because there's a lot of people think, I don't do exercise and things like that, and it's getting started is the main thing, and all sorts of things can be exercise, can't they?
Exactly. Very much so. Even
things you do in the home, like gardening, cutting the grass, housework.
Yeah.
It's all exercise.
It is, and one of the sort of things that we want to be clear about with this campaign as we're kicking off with the sort of the move a mile your way. Well, that moving a mile doesn't necessarily have to mean walking or running. If somebody, for instance, doesn't leave the house maybe very often, but they decide to take some extra trips up and down the stairs each day to move that little bit more, it's all about very small steps, very small changes or small additions into your daily routine, but to just get you moving just that little bit more than maybe you did yesterday.
I believe one of the ways you're encouraging this as well is on the website, people can enter their miles. Yes. And that goes towards a grand total?
It does. So we are looking to move Medway around the world. There's a total of 24,901 miles. And what we're doing, there's lots of different stops. So we're working, we're asking people to log in to our website and log the activity that they've done. Now, that doesn't mean walking. When you go into the website, you can select what activity you've done. And there's a list, lots and lots of different things listed on there. So you can select that activity, and you don't have to say how far you've done. But if you say, for instance, you've climbed up and down the stairs for, say, 5 minutes, you can put in that you've climbed the stairs for 5 minutes, and it will calculate the amount of distance that you've moved and add it in towards those steps, towards moving around the world.
Yeah, that's good, isn't it? It's like a challenge that everybody can take part in.
It is, yeah, very much so. So just to give you an idea, it could be anything from playing in a park and throwing a frisbee. Is one of the things. Climbing the stairs is an activity we've got on the list here. Some aerobics, some people do enjoy aerobics, but that can just be having some music on while you're cooking tea and just dancing around the kitchen a little bit. It's still movement. Yeah. It's still extra movement to get you going. There's other things, more of that you might think, things like yoga, which are and sort of Pilates, which are a more gentle activity, or even seat-based exercise. So that's exercises that you can do sat down in a chair. All of that still counts towards moving your mile your way. Yeah,
that's good. It's as we said at the beginning, it's amazing the activities that people don't realise that it's exercise, and it could be things that they're already doing, and just doing it that bit more helps.
What we're also doing along with this is an opportunity to enter into a prize draw. So every time you log onto the website and log your miles, you'll be able to tick a box to say if you'd like to be entered into a prize draw. And we're pulling together at the moment some really sort of exciting and nice sort of frequent prizes to come up for grabs there. So that's hopefully an incentive to get people moving to receive a nice little prize along the way.
Yes, good idea. And I also noticed on the website as well, and you mentioned that as well earlier, that it's not just about the people who are doing the exercise, but you're working with firms, other organisations as well, so they can do things or encourage people to do things.
Definitely. So for businesses that obviously have, you could have 5 employees or you could have 500 employees, but to encourage some sort of extra movement, lunchtime walking groups, or even just sharing about the campaign, so that people can do their things at home, is of great benefit to sort of, it's good for mental health, it's good for morale. There's lots of theory and study around by those that say maybe that are at work sort of all day, that they must take a lunch break, that it's really important to have a lunch break, and moving away from your work area, whether that be office space or factory base, whatever it might be, moving away and doing something different during your lunchtime, maybe some light exercise, just a walk or something, increases productivity and clears the mind ready for the afternoon's work. So it is very lots of studies around to show the importance of employers supporting their staff to take breaks and move around and take that light exercise.
Yes, it helps the mental health as well.
Absolutely. And of course, moving around and physical activity links into mental health in so many ways. We know there's a cycle there, that if somebody's mental health is not so great, but they can find the motivation to maybe go out for that 10-minute walk a day, and they will generally find that bit of fresh air, that bit of sunshine, as hopefully we're having at the moment, will help them along and help with their mental health. And as their mental health improves, your mood improves. You will want to go out maybe the next day for 15 minutes, and then maybe the next week you might start to do 20 minutes. It's all a cycle, and all different things that affect each other.
Yeah. And on the website as well, there's all sorts of tools and things I see that people can use, employees and people and that can use to help promote campaigns they've got as well.
Yeah, so we've got the posters that we have to advertise the campaign that are readily available, but we've also got what we call, they're called, I believe, empty belly posters, and they're available to download and to put in your own, so a business's own logo and activities of what they're doing, but just to associate it with bringing an awareness to the campaign. There's also, social media is such a big part of our world now, and especially many people using WhatsApp. So they've come up with resources to, there's sort of some copy and paste standard messages. If you've got some big groups on WhatsApp, and you can copy and paste that into and send it out to your contacts and people that it all helps to raise awareness and bring awareness to the campaign.
Yeah, that's good. And I can't remember if it's on the Medway Can website, or I know you've got a link there to the Medway Active part of it as well.
Yeah.
But there's all the information on sports clubs and other activities, sporting activities, walking things and that you can do as well.
Yep. So the Everyday Active website is another part of, apart from away from sort of Medway Can, that I work with the team on, and that's to kind of bring together and have a knowledge of as many physical activity offers that there are throughout Medway. So it can be anything. It could be Tai Chi, it could be, local gym provision, it could be, for instance, synchronised swimming club, all sorts of things. We're trying to bring, as we're working to learn and gather in the knowledge of what's out there, so that we can, so we find many people might want to do something, but they don't quite know where to go to find out how. Or where, or what's on offer. So we are working really hard to pull that together. And yes, through the Medway Can website, there is a link to the Everyday Active website, and you literally just put in, you can type in what you want to do, you can type in your area, so it will bring up what's near you, what's around you. And that does include sort of all our local Medway green spaces and lots of free activities. We're very mindful that not everybody is in a position to pay £5 to £10 or something for an activity, but there is lots of things in Medway that is available for free, so we're making sure that that's included as well.
Yeah, that's good. So really there's no excuse to start getting move, as you say. Medway Can.
Yep, Medway Can. We've got lots of events coming up over the summer that we're going to be attending to raise awareness. We've got things like the Medway Mile. There's a Chatham Carnival coming up. Lots, different things in Rochester and Chatham and across Medway. So we'll be there and on hand to sort of give guidance and give information. The campaign we've literally just launched in May, and it will last for a year. And what we're doing over that year to make sure that we keep it interesting and fun, we're starting off, as I've mentioned already, Move a Mile Your Way, and that's sort of the first sort of phase of the campaign out of 3 phases. So we're going to start to move a mile. The second phase will come towards the end of the summer, with a little bit more movement, and what we're going to be looking at is making sure and looking at who we've managed to reach with this campaign so far. And we're very, very interested and want to connect with communities that may not normally take part in sort of physical activity or exercise or any sort of activities that go on locally. So we want to make sure that we are aware of offers for those with sort of disabilities and who may not be able to exercise as easily as everybody else. So, and also different cultural groups as well, to make sure that there's a good range of things going on and something for everybody, so that Medway cans, everybody in Medway can, not just to, those certain groups. We want to reach as many people as possible. That's what we want to get to. So that's what we want to focus on with the second phase. And then the third phase, which will come just at the beginning of 2023, we'll be doing a bit more of a focus around sort of the healthy eating element. So healthy cookery, ways to probably looking at ways to eat more at a less cost. Obviously, many people are experiencing difficulty right now with the price of food and fuel and things going up. So we'll be looking at how we can support Medway with some sort of healthier but lower cost food options as well. But that's still in the planning stages at the moment. So, but that's kind of the idea that we're going with now. But we'll start off with moving, and we'll do the food bit a little bit later. The easy part is the moving part.
One of the things with the food bit, the thing that I always think of, you hear people saying that the cost of food is expensive and that, but we used to grow a lot of our own, particularly vegetables and things. People don't seem to do that so much these days.
No, and it's funny you mentioned that, Gordon, because again, I'm here to talk about Medway Can today, but there's obviously lots of other projects that I'm involved in, and one of those is I'm currently sort of mapping out where the growing projects are across Medway, because they are there, but we do need more. There is a demand, actually. People do want to grow their own food. They want to learn how to do that. Some people don't have the space to do it. So that is another project we are working on at the moment, and that's something that it is coming. It is something that we're addressing.
Oh, good.
So very interesting you mentioned that.
Yeah, I'd say I always think of that. I think I used to have a bit of the garden that was the vegetable plot. And I can't remember if we did buy vegetables, but I always seem to remember it was, I'll go out and what we're having for tea tonight and pull up the vegetables that were required.
And a lot of it is around sort of making sure that education is available to teach people that want to do these things and want to grow, even if it is at home. It's looking at making sure we're providing those resources and that support for people that do want to grow their own veg. Yeah,
well, it's the same with the physical activity as well, isn't it? It's educating people as to what's available, what they can do, and we keep going back to can, which is why it's called Medway Can.
Medway Can, yes, very much so. And it's nice for me now to speak to you. Obviously, we've only launched a couple of weeks ago, but having these conversations, you are right, the word can does come up so often. So I'm glad as a collective we've chosen a good name, and hopefully a name that everybody will get used to and remember.
Yeah, I think it's good. We've talked about the main website at Medway Can. Of course, in this day and age, there's all sorts of other media ways of talking to each other and everything.
We have got a Medway Can Facebook page and Instagram, so it's at Medway Can, as well as if you're a tweeter and you like to tweet, you can follow us on Twitter as well, and there we'll be posting out lots of sort of motivational messages and celebrating as Medway moves around the world. I say at the moment we are on track for Greece today. I'm hoping we're going to make Greece by the end of the day. So and it's just logging in and logging your miles and seeing where what country's coming up next. Where can we get to next?
Yeah, good. So you seem to have covered all the angles.
I think so. Angles being sort of in lots of nice angles in our logo as well. Just a little bit about the logo. Actually, I don't know if it's clear, but the sort of the points of the star there are to represent the 5 sort of areas of Medway. So we've got our Strood, Rochester, Gillingham, Rainham,
Oh,
Chatham.
right.
So that's just a little bit of information there about how we came up. Lots of chatting and lots of deciding on the logo, but we hope it be something that's memorable.
Right.
So that's a little bit about it stands for, the 5 points, so the 5 towns.
Yeah, and that's good.
Mm-hmm.
I can see this campaign has been well thought out, from the name and say the logo and everything. So I think it will be a success.
Thank you very much. I hope so.
Yes, so hopefully it will be, and we'll have to get you back to chat a bit further into the campaign and see how things are going.
Yeah, I'd love to come chat to you again and give you an update, and maybe talk about how the first phase has gone, perhaps, and what the second phase is looking like, and how we can how maybe you can support that, and we can share ideas as well.
That would be a good time to do it, actually, at the end of one phase, beginning of the next.
Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be lovely. Thank you.
Well, thanks very much, Vicki, for joining us today, and thank you for telling us all about Medway Can.
Thank you for having me.
That's okay. We know what it's about now, and we get on because, hey, we can. So we'll all be active.
We will.
If you would like more information on Medway Can, open your browser and go to medwaycan.com. If you'd like to hear more episodes in this series of podcasts, or indeed see our other podcasts, search for our podcast website in your browser, hospitalradiomedway.captivate.fm.
There's 4 easy ways to listen to HRM FM. Go to our website at hospitalradiomedway.co.uk and click to listen now. Go to NHS Wi-Fi on your device and find us there. Say,
play Hospital Radio Medway
to your smart speaker, or switch your radio on and go to 87.9 FM, the radio station for the Medway Maritime Hospital. This is HRM FM.